Okay, good morning YouTube. I'm going to put up kind of a new series of videos here. If you're new to my channel, I'm the Fat Cat Watch Collector, and I do video show and tells on mainly Invicta watches, but pretty much any watch that I seem to think is interesting. I'm really into the big, chunky watches, and definitely check out my channel, subscribe, check out the website, PHATKATCOLLECTIONS. But today, I've gotten a lot of actual comments from people asking, show us how to size these watches, because I size all these watches myself, and they're actually very, very simple. Today, this video is going to be about how to size the Invicta Venom watch, okay? And the only difference between some of the Venom models is that some of them actually have two different types of links. So I'm not actually going to do it on the watch today, but I'm going to show you what it'll look like on the links. I have separate links off to the side here that I'll show you on. So we're not actually going to be sizing it because I don't want to take the watch apart. But it's going to be the same thing. This is the links off the, I believe this is a 5730 Invicta Venom. And what I'm going to show you here is that the Invicta watches in the Venom series actually have two different types of links. And depending on which one you get will determine how you actually size it. So this one here, if you look at, I'm going to try to do this because I don't have like a hat cam or head cam or anything like that. But bear with me here for a second. You'll notice that this Invicta has, when you remove the links here, okay. And well, let me first show you how to remove the links. I'm going to take two different links from two different Invictas here, okay? And I'm going to go ahead and show you. It's very, very simple. I'm going to show you a couple of the tools you'll need. And you can get these right off eBay. They're very, very cheap. Now, there are other methods of sizing these watches. But this has been the way that I've been doing it, and I've had fine luck doing so. This is probably your safest bet. I don't even use this anymore. Basically, what I do is I actually just hold the watch, determine how many links I need to remove. It's kind of a trial and error here, and you'll see the holes in the side. And again, this is specific to the Invicta Venom watch. And so what you'll have, I'm going to try to bear with me here, okay? You have, of course, the links on the side of the watch, and you can see these pins right inside here. Basically, all you do is secure this watch, and I hold it right in my lap, and I put one of these push pin removers right here. It doesn't have the forks. It's just basically like a punch, and it's part of any watch kit. Some of the ones you'll get have to be pretty small depending on which Invicta watch you get. But for the Venom, pretty much your standard medium size will work. If you order any kit off eBay, again, go to my website, PHATKATWatches.com, and I'll take you to some eBay links for some of these tools you can pick up. Basically, all you do is you put, now you can use this here. This is another tool you get off eBay. It's basically, you take the watch and you put it right in this groove here. I know it's kind of hard to see this based on the, let me try to angle this a little better here. Bear with me, I'll try to get a better system here in the future, but I'm just using an iPad. So basically you have these grooves inside this kind of a band holder, and you'll open up the watch and you'll set this in here. The problem with a lot of the Invicta is that these things the Invicta bands are pretty big, so not all of them fit in here. But there are different sized grooves, and I don't even use this anymore, but basically what you do is you put the band inside there, okay? It'll go down into the groove, and then you'll use, I'm going to pretend this is still here. You'd put your push pin or your pin punch here. I'm not exactly sure what the exact terminology for it is. And then what I do is I use one of these here. This is a jeweler's hammer. You can see. And it's got a soft plastic side and a metal side. And what you do is you just basically hold. And now I'm going to show you on actual these other links I have left over. And what I do is I put it right on there. And basically I use the metal side, okay, and I tap right on the end of the, on this, let's call it the push pin. It's not really a push pin remover, but we'll call it the punch. And you just basically tap that out. Now you can't do it on a flat surface because naturally you're going to be pushing the pin into the surface. So that's why this thing's kind of nice here. And although it's very easy for you to show me how this works on this, basically what you do is line it up like that, tap the pin, okay, and it's got to push the pin all the way out. And now you'll only be able to go so far with this. So what I do is once I get the pin far enough out, I go ahead and grab it with some needle nose pliers like this, and I'll pull the pin directly out. A lot of these are marked. You'll see an arrow on here. That's the direction you want to push the pin in from. So naturally, if your arrows are pointing like this one here, that way, to my left, okay, you'll naturally push the pin this way, to the left. And then when reinserting, you'll do the same. You'll reinsert it from this side and push in. A lot of times you'll have they'll be a little bit tight. You might have to play with it a little bit, but you're not going to damage your watch. Just be careful with the pin. Make sure everything's lined up. And then once you put the pin back in, what I do is I use the soft side of the jeweler's hammer, and this will allow you to tap directly on the band without scratching it. And then once I get the pin all the way in, then I'll use the punch right here to just gently set the pin in just a little bit so it's not hanging out. You want to make sure it's not level with the surface of the watch, but all the way in there so it doesn't fall out on you. Now with the Venom watch, here's what I want to show you about the links. There are a couple parts with the Venom watch. You're basically going to have, as far as the pin, and you got to be careful when you're doing this, do this on a surface where if you drop something you'll be able to find it. There are 2 pins on this, and I'm going to dig into my bag of parts here, and I'm going to show you what they look like. And bear with me while I get this part out here. They're little tiny little pins here. I have a hard time grabbing them. Okay, so you have 2 pins on a Venom watch. You have this inner pin, okay, and then you have your actual, the big pin, okay. What happens is with the Venom watch is this center link right here, okay. Now I'll show you. Some of them have this, some of them don't, okay. Some of the Venom watches, and let me just double check this here before I say this. Okay, some of the Venom watches, the actual links, okay. I'll show you this link. This is one. This is what I call the 2-piece link, okay. Some of the Venom watches will actually have this entire link is all one piece. So this part is attached. On a lot of the Venom watches, and here's an example. Actually, I'm not sure which one. Let me just pull this apart here. So here's what a lot of the Venom watches are. Each link has 2 pieces. So you have those 2. But what happens is you will take this smaller pin, and you have to be careful because it doesn't stand there very well. When you're putting this back together, you put the smaller pin. I'm going to try to do this for you here. Bear with me. Inside here, inside the hole, you see it lines up. And then what you do is you will put the smaller link, and it's easier if you're not trying to record yourself doing this. And I apologize. I'll get a better camera in the future. What happens is this basically pops right on. There you go. Right on top of the other part of the link, and you'll see that push pin. That pin is in the middle. And what happens is then when you actually put the other pin in, you'll put it in from the side again with the arrow marked. Okay. You'll push it all the way in, and what it does, it goes through the center of the other pin. And there's a slight groove on the middle of this, I'll call it a sleeve, and it puts a little bit of tension on that pin in the middle and holds it in there. Now that's basically that particular Venom watch. And I forget which one. It might have been my Venom 2. I know I have 3 Venoms, and one of the Venom watches actually had. This one here is not it. These are all 2-piece links. It might be these. These might be the ones here. Yeah, this is I believe this one's off the Venom 2. This is all these links are 1 unit, so you don't have to worry about that second piece putting it back together there. And I believe, and I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that the Venom 2s and some of the other Venoms don't have the that center sleeve that I just showed you. And I'll point to it right here. You can see it right there. They just have the single pin. So you'll know when you take the watch apart. Just remember when you're taking those pins apart, like make sure you don't lose any parts. Okay. But I think most of the Venom watches are going to have the 2-piece links, just like that, where you will have that insert sleeve, and then, of course, the pin that goes through it all. So you got to be a little careful. Sometimes you can drop them. Do it on a surface where you're not like near carpet or anything like that where it can get lost. I always like the kitchen table, even the kitchen floor. If you have a real light surface and you have some room to spread out, that's always a good way of doing it. But I've been doing this for so long that I just do it right at my computer desk here. And I have dropped pins a few times, and it kind of becomes a pain in the butt if you actually. Luckily, when I size a watch, I always have parts left over. So that's about it. Once you get the links out and you get it to your size, your liking, or it's somewhat snug on your wrist, then if you need to go a little more, and I always go don't make the watch too small. Always go with the watch just a teeny bit bigger. This way you have these side adjustments here, and these are actually a push pin. They're a spring bar, and what you do is you just basically pop with even one of these tools. You got to be careful because they are spring loaded. You basically just push them in, and you can also use one of these. This is actually a spring bar remover, and it's got a fork on it. And you can basically just push that out and grab it, and then you can actually do this micro adjustments here. It's really easy if you take your time. No reason to go to a jeweler and pay $20 to get your watch size. So that's about it. That's how you size an Invicta Venom watch. Remember, most of the links will have the 2 pieces, and you'll have 2 pins. So each link will have a total of 4 parts. Okay, if you get I know this is definitely from the Venom 2. This is going to have, again, each link is, they're together. They're actually, they're one unit, they're not two-piece. And I'm not sure if some of the newer models are doing this. I know of the 3 standard Venom watches that I've had, one that I had to send back, they were all the two-piece links and 2 pins. Again, the sleeve and the pin. This Venom watch here, the Venom 2, looks to me like you only have 1 pin that will run right through there, right through the center there, and naturally it'll pick up when you run it through there. Yeah, it's going to also go through this the inner link here. Sorry if this is a little bit confusing. I'm not the best at explaining how to do this. This is my first video on sizing watch, but I'll give you a couple pointers when you go ahead and do it. There's no reason you can't do it by yourself. And if you do have any kind of questions, drop them in the comment there. Subscribe to my channel. I'm going to be putting up a lot more videos on how to size watches. I think the next one I'm going to do is going to be the Invicta Grand Arsenal, or it's the same for the standard Arsenal, or what some websites call the Grand Octane watch. So there's my video on how to size a Venom watch. Eventually, as time goes on and the batteries need to be replaced, if I attempt to do that, I'll put up a how-to on how to change the battery in a lot of these watches as well. So again, check out PHATKATWatches.com, subscribe to my channel, and have a wonderful day.